Okay, so y'all know I'm good for messing up somebody's name, but I think like the X might be J, and then the J is like Yen or something like that. But I believe his name is Yan Ku. I might have said that wrong, but he is a scientist in China, and he has been sentenced to 3 years in prison, I think, or jail. When you say 3 years in jail for practicing medicine without a license. So I want to know what he's going to do when he gets out. So here's the story. I done a reading a while ago on a man named Josiah Zayner, I believe. And he is being sued by the FDA too for practicing medicine without a license, is what they call it. So Jiankyu is... No, what he did was there were 2 children born, and I believe their mother had HIV. And so what he did was he altered these children's DNA to where they didn't have the disease. And I don't know if he was successful or not, but I do believe he was. And so he basically performed a miracle. And 2 children born from mothers who tested positive for HIV were born without HIV. He's now being jailed for what he did because he is not a doctor. He's a scientist. And so they said, you practice medicine without a license. Like, you can be in the lab and, I guess, create a method for gene editing, which is what he did. You can have a method for gene editing. You just cannot perform this in particular action without a medical license or degree. So, since he done such a remarkable, world-changing thing, is he going to stop now that he has been tried and convicted, sentenced to 3 years? He is now, a criminal in their eyes. And like I said, Josiah Zayner, I believe he lives here, so it's not like this is some Chinese problem and their government is too harsh. But we're doing the same thing to Josiah here. The FDA is suing Josiah Zayner for the same thing, and he's practicing on himself. He's doing biohacking. So, what is this scientist going to do? And Josiah is also a scientist. Or, he has a science degree, so, whatever. Anyway, so, what is Jiankyu going to do? King of Swords, 7 of Wands. This is defending yourself, moving to a higher ground. See, here's the problem. Like, he has support. There are people, like his colleagues, support him, support what he did. Mind you, he did something life-changing. Gene editing, like, we call it over here. I mean, it's not like it can't be done. It just can't be done by him because he's not a doctor. So they're not saying he can't do it. They're saying he can't do it because he's not a doctor. And so, like, over here you get designer babies. I want this one to have blonde hair, or this one blue eyes, this one, And so, gene editing is being done. It's just they're saying it can't be done by him. There's messaging. And he's sharing. He's going... Listen. Okay. I think he might be headed for more trouble. Because the 7 of Wands means that he's going to come out, he might be a little militant. And say, you know what, I'm going to do this anyway. and they might put a travel ban on him so where he can't leave the country, may flee and do it elsewhere or something to that nature, because here he is sharing the information. Or here the information is being shared, and then here he is, or the truth or whatever it is, his power is being met by the tower. So he might be in some trouble. Page of Coins, he's got his research though. Eight of Wands, he's getting out of Dodge. I think he will be able to do some talking. He will be able to leave and maybe do this elsewhere, or at the very least leave. And he doesn't want to though. This is a hard decision. This is something that is teetering. He might not. He might not leave. Five of Wands. There's the fighting. Two of Wands. So they're still after him. Three of Swords. There's the betrayal and the heartbreak. So they're still after him. So he's going to have a hell of a time even after he gets out of jail. I mean, I get it. You know, he's not a doctor. Like, to be fair, you know, he's not a doctor. Let's look at this here. But if I was the people involved, I mean, he literally saved those children's lives. He doesn't belong. Yeah, he needs to go elsewhere. He needs to go elsewhere. Orphaned and protection. Orphaned is you don't belong. Protection is protection. You need to go elsewhere. There's a place for you. I don't know how you do this without a license. I don't know. I can't just tell you, you know, go be a renegade and, you know. Because how are you protected if you mess up? You know what I mean? Like, you're not a doctor. But you did something good for somebody else. Even though it was illegal. I can't fault him for that.